Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. So I'm on a bit of a riff here, and I thought I would do another video, this time about the topic of making commitments to yourself. This is something, I just talked about this on a podcast, and I thought that this was a topic that I should probably talk about here on YouTube because I haven't really talked about it that much. So if you've read my book, Soft Skills, Software Developer's Life Manual, you can get it here. You probably have read the chapter in productivity about quotas, right? And one of the bases of the quota system that I use for productivity is that I commit to things. And I wanted to talk a little bit today about what it means to commit to things, why it's so important that you commit and not lie to yourself, and what kind of effects this can have on your life. So first of all, who likes to be in control of their life? Raise your hand if you do. I like to be in control of my life. I like to be able to set the direction for my life, to set goals and be able to achieve them, to choose what my life is going to be rather than having life happen to me. I don't know about you, but I would suspect that you probably do as well. And so I'm going to give you the number one ultimate secret to having control over your life more than anything else. And that is making commitments to yourself and keeping them. If you lie to yourself, if you make a promise to yourself and you do not keep that promise, what happens is that you stop believing yourself and you start to give up the power of control over your own life. And you let random circumstances, or sometimes worse yet, other people define your life and where it goes rather than you. And I don't know about you, but to me that sucks, and I'm not willing to stand for that. So if you're not willing to stand for that, here's what you do. You make commitments to yourself and you keep them. It's just that simple. You know, in the past, in a previous life, I used to be a kind of person that did not follow through on commitments to myself. I had promised myself all kinds of things. I'm going to run. I'm going to lift weights. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to do this. I'm going to study this, read this book, whatever it was. I'm going to finish this project, create this mobile app, whatever it was. I'd make this promise. And would I follow through? No, I didn't. And what would happen is I would not have control over my life, because basically anything that I want to affect in my life, I couldn't have confidence that it would happen because there was someone on the other end, me, still, who couldn't be trusted, because I couldn't trust myself. And if you can't trust yourself, you can't direct your life. And if you have to really wear two hats in life. One of them is the person who's setting the direction, in control, the manager, and the other person is a worker. And if the manager sets direction and the worker doesn't do it, then you're not going to go anywhere, right? It's like having a car that has no gas in it. The engine could be perfect and everything could be fine, but if you don't have gas, you're not going anywhere. And that's how it is with making commitments to yourself. So I would caution you that it's very, very important that when you make commitments to yourself, that you keep those commitments, you always keep promises to yourself, and that you truly understand what the meaning of the word commitment means. Commitment means that do or die, you're going to accomplish what you said, right? It's your word, and it's your word to yourself, and that's the most important. You can lie to others, and that's fine, but if you lie to yourself, you're in for a world of pain, because, like I said, you will give up control of your life. You won't be able to affect anything. I mean, just from a logical perspective, think about it. If you don't have the ability to follow through with what you have promised to yourself, how can you actually accomplish anything? How can you actually set a direction and get that done? And I'll tell you, most of you that are listening, if you have a problem with reaching your goals or accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish in life, go check and see what's the last time you made a promise to yourself, and answer now, to yourself. Did you follow through? Did you actually commit to it? Did you do it, or did you break that promise? And if you did, like most of us, right? None of us are perfect, but if you did in the past, there's two things that I'd recommend to you to change this in the future. First of all, start with some smaller commitments and make those commitments and follow through to them with them, right? A lot of times the reason why people fail and why they get on this path where they're unable to believe themselves and unable to affect their life in much of a way at all is because they have these huge ambitious goals, right? We're coming up, I don't know when this video will be published. It might be after January, but I'm recording this towards the end of the year here. So we're coming up on the time where people do this the most, right? New Year's, they make New Year's resolutions and they promise to do all these things and then they don't do them, right? And that's breaking faith with yourself. So instead of making big commitments, start with small ones, right? A lot of people say, oh, I'm going to run and lift weights every single day, and I'm only going to eat carrot sticks. Well, that's not going to stick. I'll tell you that right now. So instead, start with something small. Say, I'm going to walk 10 minutes a day. I'm going to do it do or die. If it's 11:30 at night and I'm super tired and I haven't walked my 10 minutes, I'm going to walk for 10 minutes. Whatever it is, I mean, start small. Build up that muscle, right? That commitment, willpower muscle that is going to follow through, and build that up over time. And as it gets stronger, make bigger and bigger commitments, and then you will start to build faith with yourself as well, because you'll trust yourself, because you'll know that once I've said something, it's going to happen. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to. There's not an option. Everything becomes life or death, because you cannot break commitments to yourself. And if I've been able to be successful, that's one of the major ways that I've been able to do it, is by making commitments to myself and following through with them. Some of the most extraordinary things that I've been able to accomplish in my life have been where I've just said, there is no way that I am not going to do this, because I said I'm going to do it. I promised myself, and it's going to happen. And I didn't have motivation. I didn't feel like doing it. But there was one thing that was constant, was that I am not going to lie to myself, because I know how valuable that is. And I want to have control over my life. And I see it as life or death. And I'll tell you why. Because if I can't control my life, I might as well not be alive. I don't want my life to be random. I want it to be, at least as far as, you can't control everything in your life, but as far as I can control my destiny and choose my own behavior, I want to have that control. I don't want to be a puppet. I don't want to be a robot. I don't want someone else pulling my strings. And I know that you don't either. So hopefully this is helpful to you. This is something I think is a very powerful concept. And if you can master this, you can literally accomplish anything, any of your goals in life, because you'll be able to follow through, and you'll be able to finish what you started, and you'll have confidence in yourself and your ability, and you'll be able to trust the most important person to be able to trust in your life, which is you. If you found this useful or helpful, and you feel like sharing it, I would definitely appreciate that. And as always, if you want more of these videos, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.